We made our way to the kitchen. We have no biscuits here, but if you're anything like the Mathesons, a juicy steak is always a welcome meal. And here to show us how to shop for the perfect cut and then pair it with his mouth-watering sauces is the corporate executive chef of Boa Steakhouse, Chef Michael Neflas. Welcome, Michael.
Hi.
Thanks for being here, Chef.
Great to be here.
Whoa, we are eating well today. Debbie, Kim, and Paige at the counter.
Already starting.
Absolutely.
Good.
We're in.
Now, for those at home that may not know, Boa Steakhouse, this is one of the premier restaurants in California. So we got to ask the guy who knows for sure. When we're out there and we're looking for the perfect cut of steak, what should we be looking for?
There's a couple of things we need to be looking for. You know, you've got fillets, you've got New Yorks, you've got ribeyes. What's your cut?
I personally like the filet.
Filet?
Yes.
So to me, filet, you want to look for a nice, clean filet. You know, when you're at the grocery store, no excessive fat on the outside, no connective tissue. Just a beautiful, nice, solid piece of meat.
That's my go-to.
When you're looking for New York,
which we've got right here. So we've got a flank steak, we've got a New York steak here.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
With the New York, you're going to get a nice ribbon of fat on the cap right here.
Yep.
But you want to make sure that you're not getting one that's cut more towards the back end of the strip, which would have, you know, maybe a little bit more of this connective tissue running through it, make it a little bit tougher.
Okay,
so
great.
You want a nice, clean piece of meat right up the middle.
And that's a little bit more expensive than the flank steak option. So here we go with the flank steak. What should we be looking for?
Flank steak, they're pretty much all going to be the same. They've got nice long strands of the muscle fibers. So you're going to need to do a little bit of creative cutting, cut it against the grain so that you kind of can make it feel a little bit more tender in your mouth.
I love how that you should be looking out for specific things with specific cuts. So that's super
definitely.
helpful. I know at your restaurant at Boa, dry aged is your sort of signature steak. So tell us a little bit about what dry aged means here.
Okay, so this is our dry aged New York, and you can see there's a little bit of a color difference.
Yeah.
Our dry aged steak spends 40 days in the dry aging room at Premier Meats.
Wow.
Wow.
And during that process, we're going to see about a 20% moisture loss. So you can see like the color change is partially because of that moisture loss. The meat will be very like dense and kind of like intensely meaty almost.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then there's also a fair amount of natural enzymes.
I'm just turning this down a tiny bit. Yeah.
That are in the beef that'll help to kind of break down some of that connective tissue and make it a little bit more tender too.
A little bit more tender after it's been dry aged. Okay, but today we're going to be working with the New York cut, right?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. And so before we start to sear both sides, you season a little bit with the black mix here, black and mix.
Spice. Yep.
Well, tell us what's going into this, because this is your own special kind of medley.
Yes, sir. So we've got paprika in here. We've got a little cayenne pepper.
Okay.
We've got dried thyme, onion, garlic, and then a little bit of salt, just so we get all those flavors in there.
Okay, and then go ahead and season. Is there anything special that we should know? You just gotta have that touch.
I always like to tell the guys you season from up high so that you get nice, even disbursement over the steak. You don't want to be down here where you're just getting little tiny.
Your Cameron likes to do that too.
Yeah, I do. I go even higher.
Yeah,
I'll get like a step stool.
Like a monkey, you know?
Do you do?
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
you do both sides?
Definitely both sides.
Yeah, both sides.
And then what we're also going to want to do is, you know, about 30 minutes before you cook your steaks, you're going to want to let them come out and come up to temperature.
Okay.
It'll be a much more even cook.
Great, that's good to know.
Right out of the
that's good to know. Okay, now we're going to sear both sides on a cast iron pan. So I want to throw it on there. You want me to do that?
You can do it. So we're going to get our pan nice and hot. I like cast iron because, again, we're looking for a lot of even heat.
Okay, very good.
So the cast iron will heat evenly, and it will disperse the heat evenly as you're cooking.
And did you say, sorry, how long on both sides?
About 4 minutes on each side.
4 minutes on each side.
For this, we're probably going to do about 4 minutes on each side.
Okay, very good. We're going to let this guy sear a little bit, but then we're going to put the other guy here in the oven after we finish searing on both sides, right?
Flip them over.
This guy needs to be flipped.
I know we're talking about the New York strip and the flank, but could I just say I'm such a ribeye girl.
I love
there
it.
You go.
Delicious, but I love a ribeye.
Wow. And so what should we be looking for in the ribeye if that's your cut, like Debbie?
Well, the ribeye is kind of unique. It has two sides. One has a bigger eye and one has more cap. The eye is kind of the leaner section of it. The cap has a little bit more connective tissue and a little bit more fat. So if you like a ribeye on the rare, medium rare kind of side, I think you want to look for the bigger eye. If you like medium well, almost well done, I think you should be looking for like that smaller eye and a bigger cap.
I love that you know all this. Okay, clear those out for me. So what we've done is we put our New York steak here after we've seared both sides in the oven. And you had said the temperature and the time?
About 450 in the oven for probably about another 4 minutes or so. And you'll be at a great medium.
450, that's high.
That's pretty high, right?
We cook a lot hotter than that at the restaurant. The broilers that we used to finish are 1,400 degrees.
Okay, wow. Messing around there. We've got a little blue cheese, butter, a little bit of garlic on there, you said too?
No, caramelized caramelized onion and chives.
That's what I meant to say.
exactly.
Perfect. And you let that rest outside the oven for how long?
Usually we want to do about the same amount of time it's spent in the oven. So if it's been in there about 5 minutes, we're going to let it rest 5 minutes.
Okay,
also.
that's good to know. These are things that I don't actually do at home, so I'm learning all the time. Now,
you go.
this is how we serve it up here. We're going to cut a couple pieces here. We've got 3 different sauces to go along with this beautiful piece of meat.
And they're
Tell me
all
about
so
these.
good.
They're also. You guys have been trying all 3.
I tell you, each
Okay.
sauce is equally as delicious as
Beautiful.
the next.
Good.
They're so great.
Good. So we've got our J1 sauce.
Yeah.
Here. That's kind of our take on a classic steak sauce.
Okay.
A1 style. Then right up the middle, you've got your creamy horseradish.
Okay, that's that guy there.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then on the end over here, we've got our chimichurri. Ours is a little bit different. We use paprika and cayenne pepper in there. Most chimichurris that you see are going to be very green.
Exactly. I was going to say that.
So this one's got a nice red tint to it. but
Okay,
It's got a great balance of acidity in there.
Fantastic. Let's
That
try it
sauce
all.
is
Let's try it
phenomenal,
all.
chef.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys have a favorite sauce that you're trying?
Well,
One that
I
stands out?
don't know if this is supposed to be part of it, but I was dipping in each one.
Oh,
why not?
Debbie.
Every bite was
No
each
wonder.
one.
Oh, every bite was each
Every
one.
bite, I just kind of
Mess.
mixed them.
I'm going to try that. I'm going to try. Here I go.
It's so good. Mix them.
Okay, I'm going in, Deb.
Thank you. What do you think, Cameron?
I think he knows what he's doing. That's what I
I think he
think.
knows what he's doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Chef.
Michael.
This was phenomenal. And of course, you can find all of these recipes on our website at hallmarkchannel.com.